Hey everybody, my name is John. I'm a weapon of mass instruction, and I already poured forth all my anger and aggression and all that stuff into a previous video that I'm probably not going to upload, but one thing I did want to share. Today is May 23rd, 2012. If we play numerology games with that day, the month is 5, the day adds up to 5, and the year adds up to 5. So that gives us 555. Or if you take 5, 23, 12 and add them all together, you get 13. I gotta look up when the transit of Venus is. Apparently it's supposed to be sometime soon or something like that. I don't know. We also have that possible blood moon coming up due to the fact that it's still just about in alignment from the solar eclipse. So we're going to see that coming up in, I believe, about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks now. This crazy crop circles said something about this. We got people talking about 188-day cycle for earthquakes and stuff like that, and the axis shift, alluding to the idea that Planet X is inbound. Nibiru, Tiki, the Destroyer. 2012 is shaping up to be a crazy year. Nothing happened at Chicago aside from massive amounts of violence. We already covered that. The NATO summit apparently went awesomely. We the people got a whole half sentence devoted to us from Obama's statement afterwards. Apparently the European Union's missile shield is up and running, and Russia is none too pleased about that. They've got at least 22 Spetsnaz guys in Fort Carson who are under guard around the clock. Don't give me that shit. You kidding me? I'll tell you what, Green Berets versus Spetsnaz, I'd put my money on Spetsnaz any day. Exfiltrating from a military base, which is, from what I've seen of most military bases in the United States, is really not geared towards perimeter defense. Far less geared towards people leaving the base. So we've got an unknown number of Spetsnaz here in the United States for training, who, if they wanted to, could up and leave the base anytime, dead of night, middle of the day. Who would fucking know? All they have to do is fucking get into some civvies. That's civilian attire. And walk right out. They could hire a taxi, guaranteed. In Fort Carson, I bet you there's a taxi cab service. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Yellow Cab, the official cab service of the War on Terror. Unknown number of Spetsnaz already here. More could arrive at any moment, especially if they manage to lock down an airport. And Russia is not too happy about the missile shield, or at least from what they're telling us. The government can now legally put forth propaganda and indefinitely detain anybody they deem as a threat to national security, which is basically anybody who says, I don't really like what the government is doing for us and I think it should stop. Just saying. I think I woke somebody up today, which is cool. I went to the bank to deposit some money so I could pay a bill. So I'm there, I'm talking to my friend, or acquaintance or whatever, who works at the range as well. And she says, "Hey Joe, how's it going?" I said, "Oh, not bad, still waiting for the end of the world as we know it." And this other girl that was in the counter right next door, she goes, "That's good, that's funny." I said, "No joke." And she goes, "Oh." Just like that. and I leaned in real close and I said, "You could be arrested and indefinitely detained right now for being a terrorist. There's nothing you could do or say about it. No habeas corpus. And it's legal." And the look of horror on her face was priceless. And I hope she takes that to heart and doesn't just turn around and say, "Oh, that's just the crazy guy who lives up the road." I really hope she stops and thinks about it. Because it's the goddamn truth. We are already living in the police state. The government is up to some shady shit behind our backs. As much as people tell me that we're not heading towards a far worse version of Nazi Germany, the steps are in place. I mentioned it a couple days ago. I believe it was called The Fall of America, or The End of America. That's it. The End of America. I got to get my hands on the book, but I saw the documentary. And basically this woman put forth pretty much tried and true steps on how to institute a totalitarian state out of a free state. Free state. And pretty much, depending on how you look at it, we're either on step 6 or step 10 out of 10 steps. Or is it 11 steps? Some people say 11 steps. It's all there. But if we act on it, we could be labeled as terrorists. If we do anything other than talk about it, we're terrorists. Hell, even if we talk about it the wrong way, we still could be terrorists. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. There's nothing going on here. Move along. Nothing to see. Move along. We're being inundated with it. We're awash in it. You know? The sheep-like acceptance of the status quo. Fukushima is still fucking going crazy. Tower 4 apparently is not stopping. They're looking at possible structure integrity issues in Tower 1 or 3 or something. Something crazy is going on in San Onofrio nuclear reactor. They're still chemtrailing us. They're still seeding the atmosphere with some shit. It was raining yesterday, and a brown raindrop fell on my shoulder. There were no birds in the sky. But I said, what the fuck? What the hell was it? Smart dust? Fibers of whatever? I don't know. Maybe they had an AWACS fucking plane up there and they dropped a laser guided tracking device on me. Maybe it was an alien fucking egg and it's implanted itself in my back. Shit's going crazy, man. I'm about ready to just disappear. I'm about ready to fucking just go up into the hills, take the battery out of my cell phone, sneak out and see my daughter every once in a while, and fucking live off the land. Let's talk about something in a serious note. DDUH-TV put forward this idea a while back when she was talking about the Chinese buying off land from us. Or actually, one of the people commenting on her video said it. We've got all these startup websites on the internet now. Build up this much money and we can go and do an expedition in the Congo to find dinosaur bones, or like build up this amount of money and we can make an awesome video game for you, or whatever. How about if we truthers start, like, no shit, start up our own startup site and build up money to buy a parcel of land? It doesn't even have to be big. I mean, there's what? Maybe 100,000 of us? Maybe a little bit more? Maybe a couple million of us? Like, a couple 100 acres. Way out in the middle of nowhere. And, let's do what China did. You know, let's buy some land, build us a no-shit little area for ourselves. You know? Because I for one would feel a bit more safer. No, but seriously, I for one would feel safer surrounded by people who see the truth as I see it. You know, where we'd still be looking at the same problems, but with all of us together in the same spot, I mean, we would be much more prepared for the shit hitting the fan than we are separated and scattered the way we are. You know, I was thinking mobility was the key, and that is the key when it comes to, you know, our situation as it is. But let's say hypothetically, if we had our own little country, you know, say, I don't know, wherever. Let's say hypothetically we were able to buy land and build our own little country with our own leadership, our own body of governance, our own, you know, defense force. I'm not going to say military because, you know, being as small as we are, we would be a developing nation at that point. But I'm totally okay with giving up a lot of these goods and services that we take for granted. Like, I've been pigging out lately. I don't know about you all, but like up until Chicago and a little bit after that, just about every night I was treating myself to a fancy dinner, thinking, you know, well, God knows when I'd see another one. You know, living off of MREs or scavenged food or whatever. But can we build a society of our own with equal say of everybody in government? You know, every citizen of this hypothetical nation of ours. You know, let's call it Truthia for now. I like that. A true democracy. Not a democratic republic. Not a parliamentary republic or parliamentary monarchy or whatever you want to call it. None of that. Let's build us a true democracy from the ground up. We can use the Constitution of the United States as our template. Hell, they used a constitution of some of the Native Americans, the Federation of the Iroquois tribes, I want to say. A good book to read is The Devil Colony. I mentioned it. You know, the book itself seems to be fiction, and this guy's a really good writer, but he bases his stuff on actual things, for the most part. The U.S. Constitution is based on the Constitution of the Native Americans that we found living here back in the day. So let's build us our own nation, our own free sovereign state, with our own Constitution. Build it from the ground up. You know? We don't need an electoral college. We actually wouldn't even need the so-called legislative branch, all right? Like, hear me out here. If we have no electoral college, we the people are part of the check and balance system. And that's how it's supposed to be here in the United States, in the real world. But in this hypothetical country, we already have the internet. Everybody's connected, right? How about this? Part of the internet system in this country is a governance site where every citizen can log in and they can view what bills are on the table waiting to be passed. Let's say there's a deadline for each bill, and it's totally transparent. Like, you can go and there's nothing classified. Like, this is our budget, and it's going here, here, and here, and here, and this is what this, and this, and this does, and everybody is welcome to share in this knowledge. And you can log in, and you can literally cast your vote on this site. Now, we would have to have some badass security to make sure that people from outside or people who wanted to subvert, because, you know, of course there's always going to be that worry, and it's not as huge a worry as they're trying to make it out to be, giving us these fucking, you know, full body scans and shit from the TSA. Like, it's not like that. But we would have to have a secure enough system to where we could do this. You know, it wouldn't even have to be on the internet. It could be our own intranet. We would have two separate. We would have the internet totally separate from the intranet, and everybody could log in, see what bills are on the book, on the table, waiting to be passed, and our body of Congress is simply there to enact. Like, they would put forth these bills, and we would all vote on it. It wouldn't be them voting on it. They would simply be there to mash together ideas and make it work. We would be there to actually decide whether we're going to decide on this, what we don't like about it, how we're going to make it better, so that we really do have a consensus of agreement on the way the country should be run. Not just, you know, 250 or so people deciding, you know, on the behalf of their fucking anonymous donors for their campaigns. Because everybody knows that's really what's going on here. And it has been for a good long while. We wouldn't be a rich nation monetarily. Guarantee it. You know, especially if we want to live on a gold or silver based currency where all of our paper money, if we even use paper money, which I don't think would be a good idea, all of our currency is actually backed by the true faith and credit of the nation. You know, instead of just saying, well, you know, we're going to put ourselves more in debt, and that's okay. We'll just dig it out later. We'll figure that out when it comes. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. No, let's have a true economy. Like, let's actually use gold coins or silver coins or whatever valuable material to actually be that currency. Why not? You know, and then if you got it, you got it. You don't have to worry about the value of your dollar or the value of your doubloon or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? A true democracy. How awesome does that sound? To where our elected officials are not being funded from these anonymous donors. We already have the capability of free communication. It's already there. All we need is a couple of truther fucking coding experts to build us our own social website, and we can all connect together for free. Maybe not totally for free, because I mean, there you got to worry about paying for the servers and all that maintenance and stuff. But you know, like, there's so many possibilities out there. We're living in this structure where we don't really have a say. You know? Let's do it. I don't have the know-how really to do a startup site, but you know, does anybody out there know how to do it? You know, can we do that? Can we put forth however much money it takes to buy? Fuck it. It could be the size of a large city, a couple, 3, 4, 5 miles square, maybe a bit more. You know, we could have some housing, we could have some farmland, we could have a little bit of industry, and we could expand from there and actually govern ourselves, defend ourselves, for our families. You know, we could pass a law for ourselves, our nation, our hypothetical truthia, that says that every able-bodied person must own a long arm, a rifle, you know, semi-automatic. You know, they're like countries like Iraq. You know, it's hard for us to imagine what it's like there, but you know, honestly, I've seen it a little bit, and they were okay with every household having a fully automatic AK. When we went over there, we limited it to just one, but at the time when we went over, everybody had AKs. Everybody did. You know, why not? Our police force would be the people. We wouldn't need to worry about, am I going to get jumped in an alleyway somewhere? Because all of us would be armed. Every single one of us. And there would be no talk of let's limit the arms. Let's take away our right to bear arms. Let's require you to go through fucking 8 months of waiting so they can fucking jerk off on your application and then say you're denied for a concealed carry permit. You know? Let's say, hey, okay, if you want full auto, go for full auto. That's fine. Spray and pray. No, let's not do that, because I don't want my little girl to be hit by a stray bullet, but if everybody is armed, everybody can defend themselves. Why not? Can we do it? Can we legitimately buy land and make our own nation? We could all move there, and you know, it wouldn't be big at first. It would probably be a tent city at first, and I'd be okay with living in a tent city, working on building my own house. You know? Working on actually building my life, instead of relying on this system that's been handed to me and saying, oh, suck it up. Here's your straw. Why not? Who's with me? Oh, by the way, if I disappear all of a sudden because of this hypothetical, little notional question, you all know why. Because on my own volition, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be still on here spewing forth my brain diarrhea. But I think it's a legitimate idea. I really do. And I'm all for it. I'll take all my money out of my 401k and I'll start putting into this. If we can start it. That would be great. That would be awesome. You know? My ex wouldn't be down with that. But who knows? Maybe if we can be a shining example of what democracy is supposed to be like, instead of forcing it down other people's throats without them being ready for it, maybe then people will start coming to us and saying, we want to be free. And we don't want the government to pay for all of our stuff and go down the tubes in no time. We want to know that we have the ability to defend ourselves and not have to worry about, is the government doing a good job of defending us for ourselves? How's that sound? Let's use Israel as an example. I know some of you aren't going to be happy with that, but I believe it was the 50s, late 40s into the 50s, Israel was founded. A place where Jews could be and defend themselves from foreign enemies. And everybody in Israel has to serve. It's part of their law, and they're okay with it. Anybody who's not okay with it could always move out. How about that? And it would have nothing to do with any religious philosophy. You can believe whatever you want. And that's what America's supposed to be like, but it's turned into, well, everybody's afraid of the Muslims, and everybody's afraid of this, and everybody's afraid of that. Stop it with this fucking fear. No fear. Let's just be free. That's all I got for now. Y'all stay safe. Keep on searching. And I'm serious about this. I would totally put money into it. And I'm sure a lot of you too would be willing to put a little bit here, a little bit there, and we could build up money. And who knows, maybe at this point it's too late, but it's worth a shot. That's all I got. Peace.